Welcome back to the deep dive. We take complex data and try to make it really actionable for you.
That's the goal.
And today, we are zeroing in on, well, arguably the most critical snapshot of the entire golf swing. Position 6, P6.
The delivery position.
Exactly. It's not impact, not quite, but we call it the delivery position for a very good reason. You know, if you nail this, the ball's going to fly.
And if you don't?
Yeah, if you haven't gotten here correctly, you are in serious trouble. No recovery time.
None at all. P6 is basically that final staging area, right? It's the launch zone just before, well, the explosion of impact.
Launch zone, I like that.
And just so everyone's clear, technically, P6 is defined as that moment on the downswing when the club shaft gets parallel to the ground, approximately parallel.
Okay, so think of it like the ultimate diagnostic checkpoint.
Exactly. It tells you everything.
Right, this is where we can really confirm if your sequence, that crucial, order of operations from the ground up, has actually held together through the transition.
Yeah, are you retaining lag? Is the club face under control? Critically, is your lower body clearing out of the way?
The stakes here are just immense, aren't they? Because from this point, P6 onwards, the swing's basically committed. There's absolutely zero time left to think your way out of a bad spot.
You're on rails at that point. And our source material today, it really hinges on the BioSwing Dynamics model, which is essential because it tells us, look, there isn't one perfect P6 picture.
Right, it's not static.
Not at all. It's unique to the individual. We have to analyze this based on how you, the golfer listening, are naturally built to generate speed.
Okay, so before we jump into those 3 specific delivery styles, maybe we should quickly nail down what those core types actually mean. Upper, middle, lower core? It doesn't quite tell the whole story of the engine, does it?
No, that's vital context. Good point. These labels, they define the primary engine of your swing. So the upper core golfer. They rely heavily on vertical force.
Vertical force, pushing up from the ground.
Kind of, yes. And rotational speed mainly generated by the chest and shoulders. So they move the arm steeper, more upright. Think compression.
Gotcha. Push up and rotate fast through the top half.
That's a good way to put it. Now, the lower core golfer is, well, the opposite in many ways. They get power from really aggressive rotation and lateral movement of the hips and legs.
So using the ground differently.
Tremendous ground forces, yeah. And this naturally creates a much shallower path, more horizontal delivery. They drive it from the bottom up.
Okay, upper versus lower. Makes sense. What about the middle core then? The one in between?
Yeah, the middle core player is kind of the balanced hybrid. They blend both rotational and vertical forces pretty seamlessly.
So efficiency is key for them.
Exactly. Prioritizing efficiency, working in harmony. It leads to the most consistently on-plane delivery you'll typically see. So yeah, understanding which engine is driving your bus dictates what a good P6 looks like for you.
Okay, definitions locked in. Let's quickly just confirm the essential purpose of a solid P6, no matter which type you are. What does it have to achieve?
Fundamentally, it's about placement and propulsion. Simple as that. You need the club path established correctly, setting up your line of attack into the ball.
And the body needs to make room.
Right, critically. Your body has to have created space. A solid P6 absolutely ensures the lower body, the hips are actively turning and moving out of the way. We call it clearing.
Ah, clearing the hips. Hear that a lot.
You do. Because if the hips stall, if they don't clear, well, the arms get trapped, stuck behind you. And that's just a recipe for a block or, a nasty snap hook.
So it's really that moment where all that stored energy from the backswing gets unleashed. Acceleration truly kicks off here.
Precisely. That energy transfer starts now, which leads us right into the first category.
Perfect. Let's dive deep into that upper core player's delivery at P6. We know they're vertical, rotational. How does that actually look mechanically at this key checkpoint?
Right. The upper core player, they tend to maintain a feeling of staying taller through the downswing. And at P6, you really see this. Their club shaft is parallel to the ground, sure, but it's noticeably steeper than the other types.
Steeper, okay. Like pointing more outside the ball.
Often, yeah. If you view it down the line, it might be pointing outside the ball to target line.
And the hands. If the club's steep, are the hands tucked in close?
No, actually the opposite. The hands are typically higher and further out in front of the chest.
Oh, interesting. Wider arc.
Yeah, a wide hand path is kind of necessary to accommodate that steep plane. Think of maybe Brooks Koepka or John Rahm when he really goes after one. The lead arm stays very extended, ready to deliver that powerful downward vertical strike.
Wow, it sounds like a ton of rotation. How do they stop just pulling everything dead left?
That is a great question. The key is their torso orientation. At P6, an upper core player's shoulders are already significantly open to the target line.
How open are we talking?
Sometimes 40, maybe even 50 degrees open. But here's the crucial part. Look at their spine angle. It's a bit more upright compared to the other types.
So the upright posture helps.
It's essential. That uprightness lets them rotate like crazy without their arms getting stuck underneath them. It facilitates that powerful, downward, compressive hit, covering the ball.
So the body's opening dramatically to make space for that steep path, trading maybe some lateral shift for pure rotational speed?
You got it. They still retain leg, don't get me wrong, but the wrists are primed for this forceful extension downward right into the turf, using massive vertical ground force through that lead leg.
And the danger, if they mess up P6.
Well, if those shoulders aren't open enough for that steep path, that's your killer pull hook right there. Or a steep slice if the face is open.
Okay, very aggressive. Very vertical delivery. Let's shift gears completely now. Middle core, if upper core is the rotational sprinter, middle core sounds like the mechanical engineer.
Ah, I like that. Yeah, middle core really represents the epitome of balance. Their P6 position is often described as the most neutral, or, textbook.
Textbook, okay.
Their primary goal at this P6 moment is just flawless synchronization. Everything arriving together.
What are the visual cues then? What defines that synchronization at P6 for them?
Okay, first, the club shaft. Squarely on plane. Not too shallow, not too steep, just right. Then the hands positioned slightly in front of the trail thigh.
Trail thigh, right.
And what really defines their sequence is the trail arm. Watch the trail elbow. It's tucked pretty firmly to the side of the ribcage, moving forward with the rotation toward the ball, not dropping way behind or staying high and disconnected.
Gotcha. So the feeling here is maybe less about brute force and more about perfect timing, rhythm.
It is absolutely about timing and flow. At P6, for the middle core player, the wrists are pretty passive. Lag is there and it's transitioning cleanly into the release, but crucially, there's no sign of premature casting, no early flick of the wrists.
Maintaining the angles?
Exactly. Perfect hand-arm torso synchronization is what they're after.
And how's the lower body supporting this balanced act?
Very active clearing. The hips are rotating aggressively, well open, definitely leading the torso's rotation. Weight transfer is firm onto the lead foot, setting up the stable platform, but without that, excessive vertical jump you might see in upper core or the deep rotational bend of the lower core.
Stable and centered. Any pro example spring to mind?
Oh, think of maybe Rory McIlroy in his prime. Just pure flow. Everything arrives together at impact. It leads to maximum control, consistency, just really solid ball striking.
Yeah, the gold standard for repeatable square impact. Okay, now for our third category, the lower core golfer. So if upper is steep and high, middle is on plane. Lower core has to be shallow and deep, right?
That's absolutely right, shallow and deep. The lower core player uses those strong ground forces and really aggressive rotation to shallow out the path significantly.
Okay, talk about that depth. Their hand path at P6 is the deepest of the three.
By far, yeah. Maximizing the distance the club travels from the inside.
What does that actually look like or feel like? Shallowed well beneath the shoulder plane. What does that mean for the golfer?
Okay, imagine you're standing inside a giant ice cream cone, right? Tip of the cone is the ball. The lower core player feels like they're keeping the club head running along the inside wall of that cone.
Okay. Feels like it's coming from way under.
Way under the hands, exactly. So at P6, the shaft is parallel to the ground, yes, but visually it looks much flatter. And the hands are positioned deep, often visually behind the trail thigh from the down-the-line view.
Wow, that sounds incredibly inside, like it would threaten to hit the ball a mile right. How do they possibly avoid that massive push or block?
They prevent it with body orientation and sustained rotation. Here's the key. At P6, their torso remains significantly closed relative to the target line.
Closed. So chest pointing away from the target still.
But it's more toward the trail side compared to middle or upper core players, yeah. They're delaying that big upper body rotation, holding onto the coil, maintaining their spine tilt really effectively.
So that delayed rotation combined with the aggressive hip clearing you mentioned. That must be how they keep the lag for so long.
Precisely. They retain lag longer than any other type. That trail arm is just loaded, ready to deliver from that deep inside slot.
And the club face with that shallow path.
Yeah, because the path is so shallow, so inside out, the club face often appears slightly closed, or at least neutral, at P6, not wide open. This helps them square it up in time. They need that face control to hit that powerful draw from the inside path.
Makes sense. Who exemplifies this style? Maybe Dustin Johnson? Victor Hovland?
Yeah, great examples. Players who really bring the club around the corner beautifully. Shallow masters.
And their lower body, is it just turning or is there more to it?
Oh, the lower body is the absolute powerhouse for them. The lead hip has rotated aggressively open, massive separation between hips and torso, that X factor stretch.
Right.
And they applied dynamic lateral pressure into that lead leg, almost bracing against it while keeping the knees flexed. It's this grounded, powerful action that allows maximum speed delivered from the inside.
And the miss for them, if they don't get shallow enough at P6.
Yeah, if a lower core golfer fails to shallow sufficiently, they often get stuck, arms trapped. That leads to either a weak pull, maybe a block, or sometimes they compensate and come over the top trying to save it, hitting a steep slice, the opposite of their intention.
Wow. Okay, so 3 incredibly different, but as you say, equally effective ways to arrive at P6. Upper core, high hands, steep, compressive. Middle core, synchronized, on-plane, balanced. Lower core, deep hands, shallow path, super rotational.
You've nailed it. And the big takeaway, the overarching insight here, is crystal clear. P6 is not a single ideal position you have to copy.
Right, not one picture fits all.
Absolutely not. It's a dynamic, customized moment. It has to be tailored to how you as an individual create and manage energy in your swing. Trying to force, say, a shallow lower core delivery onto an upper core body type or vice versa. It just guarantees inefficiency and faults.
And this is really where the relevance comes home to you, the listener, right? If you're battling a persistent fault, let's say, a constant slice, and you figure out you're naturally an upper core player, fixing your P6 probably isn't about trying to get your hands deeper like a lower core player. It might be about ensuring your lead side, your hips and torso, are clearing aggressively enough to allow your naturally steeper path to exit left without getting blocked out to the right.
Exactly. The position must match the power source. It's fundamental. If your swing engine generates vertical force, your P6 has to accommodate that vertical action. If you rely on rotation and ground forces, your P6 needs to keep that torso coiled longer to feed the club from the inside.
That's a fantastic synthesis. Okay, we've established P6 as this final commitment zone, point of no return. But once you commit, that energy has to go somewhere. It has to peak.
It does indeed. And this raises a really interesting question, maybe something for us to think about next time. Once P6 is achieved, the very next phase is P7 impact itself.
Right. The moment of truth.
But just before impact, we enter what some sources describe as the absolute peak of the downturn, the point where energy transfer is about to hit maximum.
Peak of the downturn. It sounds like maximum energy charging up.
It really is. It's the point of maximum velocity storage, right before the final massive release of speed into the ball. If P6 sets the launch conditions, this next moment, just before P7, is when the kinetic chain hits its absolute fever pitch.
Wow.
Think about the insane acceleration needed to go from that club parallel to ground position at P6 to actually contacting the ball in, what, milliseconds?
Yeah, incredible speed, that final burst. That's what we're all chasing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the perfect thought to leave everyone with contemplating those final moments of acceleration and really understanding how your personalized P6 sets the entire stage for everything that follows.
Couldn't agree more. Always a pleasure digging into this stuff.